Thousands of Los Angeles County workers could lose their job after the Board of Supervisors voted today to terminate employees who are unvaccinated. Community members and law enforcement spoke against the motion. NTD's Jamie Joseph reports.
The Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors approved a motion to terminate all unvaccinated county employees in an effort to crack down on the LA Sheriff's Department, which has not required its workforce to be vaccinated. Sheriff Alex Villanueva said that up to 4,000 of the department's deputies could be terminated under this new ordinance. The board voted on a motion to terminate all unvaccinated county employees on February 8th, introduced by Supervisor Sheila Kuehl. Dozens of Angelenos called in to oppose the measure, along with over 40 submitted written comments in opposition. If enacted, 18,000 county employees will lose their jobs. Kuehl introduced the motion as a disciplinary action against defiance of the county's vaccination policy.
But 6 months have now passed, and we don't have 100% compliance. And the refusal to get vaccinated or to request an exemption, that is not even to register in the system and do one or the other, really puts county lives at risk, and it is simply unacceptable.
Sheriff Villanueva called in at the start of the meeting to urge the board to oppose Kuehl's motion.
So your motion is going to seek to basically cause us to actually lose 4,000 employees for a grand total of 0.4% improvement in positivity rate is not exactly a benefit to public safety.
Villanueva said the motion is ill-advised, illogical, and probably in the long run illegal.
Item number 18 is going to be a death blow to public safety in Los Angeles County.
Villanueva warned that losing deputies would increase already rising crime in Los Angeles. The sheriff pointed to LA's 64% increase in grand theft auto and a 94% rise in murders over the last 2 years. But despite the rising murders, Kuehl said, "We are not going to permit county lives to be jeopardized."
If you will not take this matter seriously and enforce it in your department, the county director of personnel is willing to do so.
But to punish the sheriff's employees by a significant change in the charter, we would submit is not only potentially illegal and may run afoul of the state constitution and the Peace Officer Bill of Rights, but it'll also be incredibly disruptive to the very men and women that you're counting on a day in and day out.
Jim Cunningham, representing the Los Angeles Peace Officers Association, said the association stands in strong opposition to any changes to the current county's civil service rules.
There has to be other tools and other available avenues to address concerns that the Board of Supervisors may have with the establishment or with the Sheriff's Department.
And unfortunately, the Sheriff's Department is the only department in the county that's refused to implement this policy. And that's, I think, why we're here today. I think we were left with no other choice.
The board will amend the LA County Code on March 15th to prohibit unvaccinated employees. Jamie Joseph, NTD News, Los Angeles.
A sick leave bill recently passed the state legislature. The bill will require employers to retroactively pay for employees' sick leave for the CCP virus, also known as COVID-19. Groups representing independent businesses said the bill will make recovery more difficult.
Assembly Bill 84, titled COVID-19 Supplemental Paid Sick Leave, will apply to businesses with more than 26 employees. The bill also allocates $1.9 billion to California's COVID-19 Emergency Fund. The vast majority of the funds will go to the Department of Public Health for various COVID-related responses. It seeks to provide paid sick leave for all COVID-19 related absences between January 1st to February 30th of this year. Full-time employees can receive 80 hours of paid sick leave under this bill. Part-time employees are paid based on average hours worked per week. Employers will pay the sick leave. They must also pay for employees' household members who get sick. The bill currently has no language to offer a federal tax credit that previous bills had. Labor unions praised the bill during a Monday hearing, while opponents said it will burden businesses during their recovery from previous shutdowns. John Kabatek, state director of the National Federation of Independent Business, said the bill is a massive cost to job creators. He said, "It's important to point out that it's not just cost, but it's more recording requirements and opens the doors to liability for small businesses." The state's restaurant industry bore the weight of many such restrictions, according to California Restaurant Association's Senior Legislative Director, Katie Hansen. Hansen said restaurants were the first to be closed during the pandemic and will be the last to recover. She said the new costs are another layer to overcome before restaurants can rebound. AB 84 passed the legislature on Monday and will soon head to the Senate.
The San Francisco Police Department is investigating a series of bank robberies that have plagued the city since earlier this year. Between January 25th and February 5th, there have been 7 bank robberies in the city of San Francisco. The suspect is described as a black male with a medium complexion, possibly in his mid-20s or mid-30s, approximately 5'10" tall, lean, and weighs around 150 pounds. The suspect enters a bank and hands a teller a threatening note and demands money. In all incidents, the tellers have complied and provided the suspect with money. The suspect then flees the bank. The investigation is ongoing. SFPD is seeking the community's help to identify and locate the suspect. Super Bowl week is underway in Los Angeles, and city officials are saying that it's a welcome boost for the local economy. The host stadium is set not only to host game day, but also major events for the coming years. NTD's Jason Blair has more.
This coming Sunday, the Super Bowl will be held at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. According to city officials, it's expected to bring in about $500 million to local businesses in the Los Angeles region.
And get this, $500 million of investment for the Los Angeles area. That is something not only well worth campaigning for, but making sure that we get.
On Monday at a press conference kicking off Super Bowl week, Inglewood Mayor James Butts said his city looked forward to reaping the economic benefits while hosting a world-class event.
The Super Bowl means millions of dollars in economic benefits for the city, bringing thousands of out-of-town visitors and their credit cards and cash to our local hotels, restaurants, entertainment venues, and retail businesses.
Butts said that the championship game at the new $5.5 billion stadium marks the dawn of an exciting new era for Inglewood. He added that the benefit for the city will compound with each subsequent event. SoFi Stadium is set to host college football playoffs next year, will likely host World Cup soccer matches in 2026, and the Olympics opening ceremony in 2028. And this Super Bowl Sunday, the Los Angeles Rams take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Jason Blair, NTD News, California.
The Super Bowl is this coming Sunday as the Los Angeles Rams and Cincinnati Bengals prepare to face off at the SoFi Stadium. Government officials are preparing to tighten the security measures ahead of the big game.
We have no information of a specific credible threat against the Super Bowl. What this is all about is planning and preparation to prevent any incident from occurring. And it requires the dedication and the tireless work of extraordinary personnel in law enforcement, in the security environment, to ensure that that remains so.
The U.S. Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas said his agency, as well as state and local law enforcement, have undertaken extensive preparations to make sure the event is safe. He said anyone and everything that enters the perimeter of SoFi Stadium will be screened. Security specialists are also working to combat any human trafficking that may accompany the festivities. NFL Chief Security Officer Kathy Lanier said the Super Bowl has been designated as a special assessment. A special assessment, a rating 1 level event. This means the event has significant national or international importance that requires federal level security. Officials stressed that the security will also extend to other Super Bowl events. Shootings against police officers are up this year. A sheriff from Southern California explained what's leading to the increase in violence, citing both legislation and media.
The National Fraternal Order of Police reported that 30 police officers were shot in January this year nationwide. Of them, 5 were killed. Compared to January last year, 20 officers were shot. 2021 tied for the deadliest year for police officers in the last 10 years. 73 officers were feloniously killed. Orange County Sheriff Don Barnes told NTD sister media The Epic Times that several factors have contributed to the high numbers. Barnes cited narratives such as defund the police as attacks on rule of law. He agreed that the media has played a negative role in shaping public opinion towards police officers. Barnes said those narratives have caused certain segments of criminals to act more aggressive toward law enforcement. Suspects are becoming more non-compliant, resulting in escalating confrontations. The Southern California sheriff brought up attacks on rule of law going back to 2001. Barnes listed public safety realignment, reducing certain felonies to misdemeanors, and releasing nonviolent state prisoners. Barnes said the definition of nonviolent for prison release was very limited in its definition. If a prisoner had sexually assaulted a sleeping woman or physically assaulted a peace officer, then they are still classified as nonviolent.
With an autonomous trucking through its partnership with Walmart.
Gotec delivers groceries and other goods from big distribution centers to retail locations. It has been in a partnership with Walmart since last year. The Palo Alto-based company operates a fleet of 25 autonomous trucks and has pilot programs in Arkansas, Louisiana, and Ontario, Canada. Gotec expanded to Texas last year.
We became the first company to operate in a fully driverless manner on a public road in a commercial capacity. So improved safety for the truck and the other road users is something that we can offer today.
The autonomous trucks use a 360-degree field of view. Its software is a hybrid between classic robotics and machine learning-based algorithms. Currently, Gotec's trucks avoid making multiple lane changes for safety. They can avoid schools, hospitals, and fire stations. The autonomous trucks deliver online grocery orders from one of Walmart's warehouses to a retail location where customers can pick them up.
One of the best ways we can address this growing shortage is by adopting automation.
According to Narang, the trucking industry needed 60,000 drivers last year. He expects the demand to grow to 160,000 by the end of this year.
Falling in love or falling victim? It may be both. The FBI warns the public about romance scams, also known as confidence fraud, and how to avoid it. We hear more from NTD's David Lam.
According to one study, California ranks #1 for most targeted states for romance scams. With Valentine's Day coming up, the FBI warns the public about becoming a victim.
What better month than February to shed some light on a fraud scheme we commonly refer to as romance scams?
Now that meeting people online is commonplace, the FBI says to be aware if the individual seems too perfect or quickly asks to go offline.
These occur when a criminal adopts a fake online identity to gain a victim's affection and trust. Then, the scammer uses that illusion of a romantic or close relationship to manipulate and steal from the victim.
This also includes the grandparent scheme and any scheme in which the perpetrator preys on the victim's heartstrings. The FBI says to research the person's photo and profile using online searches to see if it's been used elsewhere. Other red flags are if they try to encourage isolation from friends and family. They may also request inappropriate photos or financial info.
Might someone you know and love fall prey to a romance scam? You may just save a loved one from emotional pain and financial suffering.
In January this year, authorities were seeking 2 fugitives allegedly running an illegal business tied to romance scams. The DOJ said the fugitives scammed nearly $1.1 million in 2017 from romance scam victims. David Lam, NTD News, California.